Welcome back to the channel, people. NBA Cup semifinal preview. The game starts at 2 hours and a half, so 2.5 hours. So might as well get it out of the way. We did the NBA quarterfinals preview and the whole playoff bracket preview, but might as well just come back and do the semifinal preview again, just to recap on what we said and just to go through on what predictions we got right, what predictions we got wrong, and the final is it's in Vegas. The final's gonna be on Tuesday. So yeah, might as well get it started. Augustia King, how you guys doing? Right, guys, ready to predict?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Just as we said before stream, for those who've been keeping up with the channel, there is a reason why this is my second NBA show ever on this channel. The first since the predictions day. It's because due to health reasons and being busy, I haven't been able to catch the NBA. But because I did do the predictions and I'm a prediction master, a sporting genius, as we've all just seen in our NBA fantasy league, which I'm dominating, I'm here to out predict you guys again. So I'm looking forward to it. Tonight's game should be fun. Four exciting teams with good superstars: the Rockets, Ime Udoka, Alfred Sengun, one of the rising stars of the NBA. You got OKC. What more do I need to say? And Bucks and Hawks. Giannis, a blast from the past in a way. We haven't really seen Giannis at a championship or tournament winning level for quite a bit. So yeah, looking forward to it, man.
King.
Yeah, man. Same here. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good day of basketball, or good evening for me of basketball, because the NBA Cup has added a bit of an excitement. It's in Vegas. 4 teams are left. A lot of young, exciting stars, as Augustia has said, and yeah, I got most of my predictions wrong, but for my fantasy, I got it all right. So for fantasy points, it was a good NBA Cup, but predictions, yeah, no, all wrong. But we'll talk about that and more.
Yeah, let's get started though, because um, me and King did our predictions on Tuesday. We said we did the bracket, and we got excuse me, we got 2 out of 4 right, but we'll get into those predictions in a bit. Um, Gustia, talk a bit about the first round, because obviously, unfortunately, Dallas, as we predicted to win the whole thing, we didn't get through. Talk us through that game, because OKC, for me, they're the third best team in the NBA right now for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas have dealt with Luka Doncic's injury. He's just come back. Unfortunately, couldn't get you over the line, but Dallas have still got a whole season left to turn it around, and I think the future is still bright for you. But I'll let you start.
Yeah, I have no worry or doubts about the Dallas Mavericks whatsoever. We're just coming off the back of, again, an NBA Finals appearance. We made it to the finals in one of the toughest pathways in recent, maybe all-time Western Conference history. We beat the Clippers, OKC, and the Timberwolves, two of maybe the hottest teams in the NBA, the OKC and the Timberwolves. So I have no doubt. And the fact that we've managed to keep our core intact from the summer and add with the likes of Clay, which, again, once he acclimates and gets familiar with Luka and Kyrie, I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to shoot above 30% from the triple. If he is subpar, that is already a massive improvement from us, because the thing that the Mavericks have struggled upon in previous seasons, like the season where Luka and the Mavs went to the Western Conference Finals, or last season, was buckets from others except the stars, aka Luka. And again, we have a better team this year. And the fact that Gafford and Lively, that duo at the 5, stays together, very dominant. So I have no doubt about the Mavs. I think, yeah, it's disappointing that we didn't make it to Vegas, because we do have a good team and we did have momentum coming into this tournament. But Ekevin, as you rightly pointed out a few seconds ago, Luka's been hurt. And Luka's been hurt. It's been chopping and changing consistently. So there's been no fluidity and coherency in terms of, figuring out rotations and systems. So yeah, it's disappointing. But eventually, push comes to shove. The currency of the NBA for us is winning the NBA championship, not the cup. So it would have been a nice, it would have been a nice prize to have. But the NBA Cup is the cherry on top. So we want to actually win the cake. So on the Mavs, disappointing. And then in terms of the Cavs as well, the team that
Very
I like
well said. Very, very well said.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. High praise coming from you. And then when it comes to Cleveland, I think, Cleveland, what can I say? One of the most dominant starts in NBA history, bar none. Very exciting, entertaining, compelling team to watch. The big four, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen, and Garland. Garland has finally resurrected and revitalized his form.
Okoro.
Yeah, I mean the depth of the Cavs goes deep and deep. It's one of the deepest rosters in the NBA. It is a shame. It is really disappointing that the Cavs lost in the opening round, the 2 games to the Hawks, because those really are exceptions that don't define the rule. Look at our record with the league's commanding team. So it is very disappointing. But and I hope that isn't going to hurt the players mentally when the Cavs are in the postseason, because you can argue. I don't know about you, Ekevin. I don't know about you, King, but maybe alongside the Celtics game, the Cavs games against the Hawks, because they're in the cup and the stakes were higher than all the other regular season games, maybe those were the most important games this season. So every time the Cavs have had an important game this season, you can make the case that they haven't delivered. So again, that's a bit concerning mentally, but we will see. I think, again, ultimately when it comes to Cleveland, if the big four stay healthy, I see no reason why we can't be a thorn in every single team side. So yeah, that's what I would say about the Cavs and the Mavs.
About the Celtics now, I'm gonna go on about the Celtics now. Since you've already spoken about your team, I hear everything you're saying. I understand it's frustrating to get knocked out of the cup this early because, look, you always want to win the cup, but really and truly, the main goal is to win the NBA. Like, for both of us, especially us 2 finalists last year, we should be looking to get back to the finals, right? That's the main goal for now, right? Well, obviously it is not just for now, but it's been since last season. Where I've been most disappointed with the Celtics is all we do is just shoot threes when there's no plan B. Yes, it falls. Cool. When the 3-ball falls, it looks amazing on the eye to watch. But against the Hawks this season, we could have easily won that game. We were up by a lot. I mean, we should have closed it out. We would have swept our group 4-0. We would have swept our group quite comfortably as well, quite easily. If all we had was just one defensive stop instead of a stupid tip in by the Hawks, we could have won the group. We wouldn't have to rely on others to win it for us. We could have won the group, and it is what it is. Been very impressed with us this season so far, though. 20-5. I can't really complain much, but we should be about level with the Cavs soon. Hopefully, if we can pick up more results, pick up more wins. Obviously, we got the Washington Wizards on Monday. Then we got the Bulls back-to-back games coming up. Not back-to-back days, but back-to-back games against the Bulls, home and away. So I reckon should be getting 3 wins in a row. Yes, no Jason Tatum. He's been sat out for a couple games already, but we beat the Pistons quite comfortably, and that's all I'm happy really about. That's all I'm happy about, I guess, because against the Grizzlies, I've been disappointed with the result against the Grizzlies. But now we bounce back against the Pistons, I'm fine. And now we just have to go to Washington and get the win and just continue our good run of form. The Celtics have had a really good start to the year. I can't really complain much. Yes, and the only games we've lost have been really close games. We've only lost games under 10 points. We've not lost games by more than 10 points this season, which has been really, really impressive. Like, to battle to the very, very end. To come back from 26 points down against Indiana Pacers, yes, lost by 3, but forced overtime in the fourth quarter was crazy. I love the effort from the team. I love how we're playing. I even at our worst, we can still grind out results, and that's the best part. That's the best part I love with the Celtics, that we can just get results, even if we're not shooting well. Against the Bucks, for example, last week, like that was one of the most impressive wins all season. With the Bucks having a fully fit roster, with the Celtics having a fully fit roster, apart from Kristaps Porzingis not playing, right? Because he sat out and played the back-to-back against the Memphis Grizzlies instead, right? we clutched up and won the game, and with a few good stops, and yeah, we won the game. I can't really complain, and now we're in good decent run of form. May that continue. Our NBA Cup was disappointing. It's a disappointing exit, but we'll see, man. We'll see. It's always like Augustia said. It's the cream on top, but you'd always but the cake is what you want. The NBA Finals. So yeah, we're both looking to win our conferences. That's what we want. We just want to win our conferences, get back to the finals, and continue our good work from last season and see where we go on. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the Celtics. Nothing much to complain about. Just really move on and pick up more results. Our next 10 games should be should be favoring, because our next 10 games, I'll read them out to you. Actually, we don't have any back-to-backs for the rest of the month. We've got the let me have a look. Actually, hold on. So we've got the Wizards on the road, the Chicago Bulls at home, Chicago on the road, Magic on the road, Sixers at home, Pacers at home, back to back, not back to back days, but back to back, and then we got the Raptors and then the Timberwolves away. So these games, I'm expecting the Celtics to get majority wins out of these next 10 games. And yeah, just continue a good form, and yeah, long may continue. King, on to you about the Sixers, man.
A bit of a mixed bag week. Previous game we didn't just get beat by the Pacers, we got destroyed by the Pacers. And then the game before that, did we beat? I think we beat Brooklyn. But for me, I just think looking at the Pacers game, I don't like the coach. I don't like some of the rotations. I find it frustrating at times with some of the rotations not having any stars on the court. And in those moments is the moments where we lose most of our points to the opposition team. So I think for me, I think we have stars that are injury prone in the likes of Joel Embiid and stuff like that. And then we also had the problem of the coach not being good enough, in my opinion, for me. So I think it's frustrating trying to watch my team and see what the coach is doing and thinking, yeah, no, if we had better coaching, we could be higher up than we are. And I think we have the potential to beat most teams in the league outside of the great teams, but we don't do that because of for me of the poor rotations and of the coaching. And the front office need to make some changes soon, because trades may need to happen. We may need to make some changes in the coaching as well, because I just think the way we play is outdated, the way we move is outdated, and the current record is not good enough for a team that's traded for Paul George, that has Embiid, that has Maxey, that has the contender for the Rookie of the Year. If you have that much talent, you can't be 7 for 16 at this stage, regardless of injuries and stuff like that, and some of the stuff we have off the bench, like Kelly Oubre and other guys that we have on our team. So it's a frustrating watch to watch the Sixers at times, I'll be honest. But we'll see what happens in the future. As for now, might as well write off the season for our team. I don't think we get far in the playoffs. If we make the playoffs with this coach, we'll probably get knocked out at round 1, or get knocked out in the play-ins at this moment, because it's hard to trust the process when the process is kind of terrible at the moment.
I hear that. I mean, it must be frustrating, because I felt this a few years ago with the Celtics, when we had a good run in the bubble. We fell short to the Miami Heat. Then the following year, we looked awful. Like, we were 6 games under 500 at one point, and I was starting to lose hope. And then we pulled it back and made the play and made the playoffs. So it's not all over. I mean, it's still a long season. You can still make the playoffs. I mean, if you get Joel Embiid firing again, then you never know. But I just don't see the Sixers like turning it around if you're just going to get results like this at this rate, because the Pacers aren't doing really well. You're not getting results against teams you should be getting results against. Excuse me. You're not picking up form when you should be picking up form. After last week, I thought it was your best week of the whole season. I thought you won 3 out of 4 games, which was your best week of the whole season, and then all of a sudden it just collapsed. So yeah, the trade deadline is where the Sixers need to hope that you get close to it and you reach, because you need to get to that deadline and make massive trades. Make massive trades. Whether it's being trading Paul George, whether it's being trading Embiid away, you need to make some trades, big trades. And I think if you guys go and get someone like a Jimmy Butler back to the Philadelphia 76ers, then maybe you could do something. But it's a bit too late for Butler to return, maybe. But short-term purposes, why not? Why not? Because you guys should have let him go in the first place. You let him go for Tobias Harris, which is the Sixers front office have completely messed it up big time. Messed it up completely big time. So this is where I think you need to shuffle up the front office, shuffle it up, and get someone that can change things up for you guys. Because I don't mean to flex about the Celtics. Yeah, I don't mean to flex about my team as I always like to do. Yeah, because trust me, when you win, you just want to say things that you want to make others feel like oh, he's bragging. Brad Stevens, okay, Danny Ainge left the Celtics right after many years. He won us a championship, right, in 2008. Got us to three NBA finals. He found a successor in Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens took off from where he left. He hired Ime Udoka. Hired a good coach. And then we made some trades, turned our whole entire season around. And ever since then, we've just looked completely different. We just looked like changed the system up. We look like a completely different team. So this is where I think the Sixers need to do the same. You guys need to change up your front office. Your front office is where I feel that is your pivotal point in making the decisions for the Philadelphia 76ers in the future. Excuse me. Let me say it again. Making the decisions for the 76ers in the future, because you guys need to make drastic changes to your squad. Big time. Roster changes, trades, draft picks need to be brought in soon. Sooner rather than later, because if you don't have a draft pick in the summer, then God knows where you guys are going to be next season. So that's why I'm saying you need to build from the new draft. Build around Joel Embiid. Build around him. If he wants to stay, build around him. Yes, you have to trust the process again, and unfortunately, it has to be said again. But if you have to keep Joel Embiid and build around him, do it. Do what it takes. Do what it takes. If Joel Embiid wants to leave, trade him away and find someone new. Try and get Cooper Flag or something. Try and trade her for Cooper Flag. It's the best you can do. And I'm not even trolling, because I actually feel bad, because you're one of these Sixers fans that actually I don't take the piss. Because there are a lot of Sixers fans on Twitter who are just mouthy for no reason. But I don't want to take the piss out of you, because you're actually chill. Because you're actually a chill Sixers fan, The Sixers fan online, I don't give a shit about them. But for you, you're calm, bro. You're calm, and I ain't taking the piss out of you, man. You're actually like a genuine Sixers fan, and says it as it is, rather than just tries to hide everything and lie about things, Says the toxic positivity on Twitter as what most people like to do nowadays, don't they? But yeah, I generally speaking from a neutral perspective, yeah, I think the Sixers just need to make big changes to off the court and just make big changes on the front office. That's where I think it has to start from. Then you make bigger decisions on the court. You then bring in a new head coach, and then so on and so forth. Yeah, I think you need to start fresh. But look, the Sixers squad ain't even that bad. If you look at it on paper, it's not bad. It's just I think maybe it's just the head coach and the people at the front office in charge, like I said. But yeah, Vestia, I'll go to you just to carry on with what I said.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Ekevin, on most things that you said, especially about King being a very articulate, passionate, but also compassionate fan. So King, people like King don't deserve it. Let me add a point you made about, you're the champions, and you feel like sometimes, hey, as a champion, you may come across as arrogant if you give advice. I actually don't agree. I don't think it's arrogant. I think it's accurate. If you're winning, you're allowed to promote yourself as the best and biggest team. Every athlete does it at the top of the game, whether it's Michael Jordan to Novak Djokovic, people, even Cristiano Ronaldo. People will say, hey, they're arrogant. I don't think they're arrogant. You need that mindset to win at the upper echelon, and not just win, not just reach there, but sustain. So, Ekevin, when you go tell other fans, hey, look at us, we're a template, we're the blueprint, that's true. You are, because you are the best team in the NBA today. So that's not being arrogant. You're just being factual and accurate. Second, on the Sixers, similar to my NBA fantasy team, where I am 6-1. Yeah, I have won 5 NBA fantasy titles in a row. I'm just gonna have to add that in here against 70 different people. I did make a massive mistake by drafting Joel Embiid first. I had a late first round pick, and I took him because when Joel Embiid plays, as we all know, he plays at a MVP level. Beyond an MVP level, he's easily one of the 5 best players in the NBA, and he is a stat padding machine. He's a stat padding machine. There's no other way to classify or describe it. I think you've tried the Embiid experiment for so long. King, I don't know how long he's been there in Philly, but he's been there for I think the better part of a decade, at least, Joel Embiid. So, and you've not amassed any success. You've not ever made it to the NBA Finals, which is just reprehensible. And Philadelphia, say what you want about Philadelphia and the culture and the toxicity and the resentment between the players, teammates, staff, and fans, whatever it is, it's irrelevant because Philadelphia are a big market. So high-profile players will be willing to go to Philadelphia. I think similar to what I'm going to do in my fantasy team, the next time Joel Embiid goes on a run, because there will be a time where he does get back on the court and he does play 10, 15 games in a row, hopefully, or most of those. When he goes on a run, and then when the league is alerted that, yes, he still can do it at a high level, cash in. Maybe it will take you more than one season in real life. Maybe this season he plays most of the games till the remaining, to the end of the regular season. And then next season he starts off well, cash in. You don't want to waste that value. Exploit that value while you can, because he still is a valuable player. He still has been an MVP contender for 3-4 years in a row. So cash in. I think you have to completely rebuild that team. There's no other option. As Ekman said, Jared McCain is currently the Rookie of the Year contender. And I think earlier this season he had, 5-6 games in a row where he got 20 or more points, which is a first for rookies ever. So I think build around McCain, build around Maxey. But simultaneously, I do say cash in on Joel Embiid, but that's under the assumption that you know what your vision is, because the draft is coming up. As Ekman said, Philadelphia can do one of two things. They can maximize Embiid's value this season and tank, so you get the number 1 draft pick. And then next season, you continue to maximize your value with Embiid, but look to move him on and build a team around whoever you choose to draft, Maxey and McCain. So that's how I think Philadelphia should approach it going forward. But yeah, I feel sorry, because every single season there is so much hope around Philadelphia, and it's like, is this the year Joel Embiid is finally going to bridge the gap and spearhead this team ahead of a slump and to success? But it doesn't happen, and it's only getting further and further away. So nothing personal against you, Joel Embiid, but unfortunately it's not a fit at the moment in Philadelphia, and I think a move away to a different team and city would be better, not just for Embiid, but for the Sixers.
I hear that. Let's move on to the NBA Cup, though. Let's get to our predictions from the group stage. I guess you weren't here for the semifinals, quarterfinal preview. So, what was your predictions for the quarterfinals, and what was your predictions for the groups? Just wanted to.
Do we have to talk about it?
No, just remind them so we can, because I did that for the quarterfinal preview as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking. My point here
is
because
you previewed the cup, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to revisit my predictions because they were pretty dreadful. Put it this way,
fine. Just predictions.
I had the Knicks, the Bucks, the Celtics, making it out in the East, and then my wild card team was the Cavs. And then in the West, I had the Rockets, which was correct. The Lakers making it out of Group B. Because I thought, you know what, maybe LeBron and AD, Redick, new head coach, bounce. Maybe they started off the season well as well.
Maybe if you were in Disneyland, then maybe it'd happen, sure, but not again.
Hey, it happens. Don't forget, Ekman, despite this NBA Cup loss and early exit, they still are the biggest and best franchise in NBA history.
But they don't have 18 championships, so it's okay, no problem. But let's continue what you're saying.
So yeah, I had in the West, I had the Rockets, the Lakers, and the Mavs making out of their group, and then as my wild card team, I had OKC. So among the remaining teams, I have one of four. I have the Rockets. So I'm not satisfied, of course, because usually my win ratio with predictions is quite high, but I'm not surprised the Rockets made it there. They are a very, very underrated team. They're a very clean and composed team. I think they've committed the least amount of turnovers all season. I just saw a stat that said that. And they are obviously a very resolute and robust unit defensively. Alfred Sengun has been rock solid. He's been a great two-way player, dominant on both ends of the floor. So, yeah, I'm not surprised Houston made it. But all in all, my predictions weren't too successful. But I made the unpopular prediction right. So that's good.
And your so your quarterfinal predictions were the Bucks winning, and who else did you say was going to win the quarterfinals?
Oh, I didn't make quarterfinal predictions.
If you had to predict, like now, obviously for example, you already happened, but what was your original predictions in your head? Like what were you saying?
I didn't make predictions, and if I did now, it would be disingenuous because retrospectively, it's easier to get the right call.
Me and King will say our predictions. So I said Bucks, I said Hawks, I said Golden State, and I said Mavs. So I got the East right and the West wrong. But King, what was your predictions for the quarterfinals?
I don't want to interrupt. Didn't we have a conversation when I was on chat about I thought the Mavs would beat OKC? You said OKC would beat the Mavs?
No. I at the end said Dallas.
Oh.
Because I said, remember I did say Dallas will do an upset. Remember we talked about the odds and everything like that. So like, yeah.
Fair.
So King, what were you saying?
Oh, for the West, I had Dallas and the Rockets. So I got one of those right. And then on the East, I said Magic and Knicks. So, yeah, Orlando didn't have any magic for me, and the Knicks, got dropped by the Hawks.
The Orlando Magic choked. They choked hard, by the way. The Orlando Magic choked really badly, and so did the Warriors.
Yeah, the most hated man in New York decided to come and show.
The villain here at Madison Square Garden, Mike Breen, quote unquote, bro. The amount of Knicks fans hearing that on TV, they were probably seething hearing that on TV, bro. Bro, this guy is a villain at Madison Square Garden, bro. He's done it to the Knicks. I don't know how many times now. Like, crazy, like how it happened. But let's go to the semifinals. Obviously, let's start off with the East. Bucks against Hawks. My original predictions were the Hawks to win the whole thing. And I'm sticking by it. Because it's a one-off game. And the Hawks, bro, do people not realize the Hawks lose to the worst teams, but they beat the best teams? They beat the Celtics, they beat the Lakers, they beat the Bucks, they beat the Cavs. Bro, how many of the good teams are they gonna beat, and then they're gonna lose to they lost to the Wizards. The Wizards' only 2 wins I think came against the Hawks. I'm not sure if this is correct, but the Wizards only have 2 wins this season or something like that, and one of the only wins came against the Hawks. So it's crazy. Like the Atlanta Hawks just lose to the worst teams and beat the best teams. And the one-off factor in this NBA Cup gives me saying as to why I'm gonna go for the Hawks to win this. Won't be surprised if the Bucks do win because obviously it's a one-off game, but I'm gonna go with the Hawks because I feel like the Hawks this season have looked really good in the NBA Cup, and they've topped the group for a reason. They beat Boston at TD Garden. They beat Cavs twice. They've beaten Bucks. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Hawks. The Hawks have looked good. Trae Young's looking really good. Jalen Johnson's looking really good. They've got a good team, man. They've got a good team. Hunter is also looking really good. And yeah, I can't really deny. I think the Hawks have a decent team. It's just can they get over this hurdle of the Bucks? And I think they can. It's in Vegas. It's not in anyone's court. It's a neutral court. So I'm gonna go for the Atlanta Hawks to win. Because I think the Hawks also won in Milwaukee as well. So I'm not sure. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go for the Hawks. King, I'll go to you first on this one. Just give you a quick preview and prediction
For the East.
for the Hawks versus Bucks game in Vegas.
That's going to be a difficult one because it depends on in the East. It depends if JJ and Trae Young are going to be available because I think they're on day-to-day. So if they're available, then I think the Hawks have every chance of beating the Bucks. The Hawks have always risen to the occasion. They've always beaten better teams than them. So
No, sorry to interrupt you. This day-to-day injury thing, yeah, it's just for day-to-day. So like back-to-back games. So I don't think it's I think
so they'll be available.
I think they'll play. Yeah, they'll play. It's because it's the NBA Cup. I don't think they have a choice.
That's true. So it depends on the type of injury.
Yeah, it's day to day. So like the thing is that with day to day, it's more like they'll see how it goes day to day, and they also see. I think sometimes they say day to day for back to back games as well, but the Hawks will have back to back games. They went straight to Vegas. So yeah, I reckon, yeah, Hawks. But go on, bro. Sorry, I interrupt you.
No problem. I'm just because they're not going to be maybe them two aren't going to be maybe 100%. I still believe that they can beat the Bucks. As I said, they rise to the occasion. They tend to beat bigger teams than them, so I think they'll rise to that challenge. I think with Trae Young and Jalen Johnson, they've got two guys that are going to give you a lot of points. And I think they have the team to stop Giannis as well. So it'll be a very interesting game. I'm going to go with the Hawks, even though I didn't expect them to beat the Knicks. Watching them in the quarters actually kind of made me into a believer in the way they played, and Trae Young has the clutch gene, so I think he'll make it to the final. But I don't know if he'll beat either team in the West after that. But yeah, I'll say the Hawks.
Goes to you there.
Yes, I am there. I think it's tough. I agree with King. I know, Ekevin, you're sticking to the courage of your convictions and keeping with Hawks. That makes sense. You had them from the quarters. Why not stick with them? I agree with you, though. I really like what you said about Hawks losing to the teams they should beat, but beating the teams that are an upper weight class than them. I guess the Hawks are the Robin Hood of the NBA.
Upper echelon.
Sure, upper echelon, upper weight class, however you want to classify it. Yeah, I think the Hawks are a team built for the NBA Cup. You look at their roster, people like Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels, who have been unsung heroes for them. The jump that Jalen Johnson has made puts him worthy of an MIP victory. He has been that effective as King, as you know. You have him in your fantasy team. Jalen Johnson is very, very, very efficient, and he has been effective. He's been an effective scorer, an effective distributor, and his all-around game is quite impressive. The same with Dyson Daniels, who has been an unsung hero for the Hawks. He's filled the void of DeJounte Murray, which many people thought would be an issue for Atlanta, but he's come in and been a very good Robin to Trae Young's Batman. My only issue with the Hawks is if you look at their team as a whole, it's very, very injury-prone. Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels barely play more than 60 games in a season, and Trae Young himself gets injured from time to time. So they are quite an injury-prone team. However, for the NBA Cup specifically, I think it bodes well. But what I will say is, this game I think will be not decided by Trae Young or Giannis. I think it will be decided by Damian Lillard, because if you look at the Hawks and the Hawks defense particularly this season, the Hawks have allowed the most above the break 3-pointers per game, and they have allowed the most pull-up 3-pointers per game. So they are very leaky from the perimeter and arc. And there are not many better players in NBA history, not just today, but in history, than Damian Lillard to exploit you from the three. So I think if Damian Lillard can catch fire, that would be very good. But again, if the Hawks are to win, they're going to have a spectacular performance from Trey and Jalen Johnson, because the Hawks do have some good depth. You can make the case that the Hawks have better depth than Milwaukee even, right? Because like, you mentioned DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, all of these players above are quite proficient scorers. They can score in the paint. They have some good players from the triple, like Trey Young, for example, like DeAndre Hunter, like Bogdanovich. So, and they have Clint Capella as well, who is, again, as we know, his resume when it comes to crashing the glass. So, all in all, I think this game will be decided by Damian Lillard, because the Hawks seem very leaky from the three. I think it's so close. It's a flip of a coin. I am just going to go with the Hawks. So yeah, I will pick the Hawks to win, because
So the Hawks will go to the championship game.
Yeah.
Because what? Sorry.
Because I think they just have better depth and they're built for this tournament.
I hear that, but it's a one-off game as well. So let's not forget that it's not like a playoff game. It's more of like a one-off champion, like a semifinal game. So yeah, and it's also, don't forget, neutral ground as well. There's no like home away court, so like that plays a huge factor as well. And because if it was playing in Milwaukee, then I could see a different result. But the fact is, going straight to Vegas, because last year the semifinals were I think were. I don't remember if they went to Vegas for the semifinal, but they were definitely in Vegas for the final. So obviously that's the thing. So, but yeah, this season they've changed the name, they've changed a bit of the format and everything. So yeah, not format, but excuse me, but they've changed. Excuse me, they've changed a few things up. Sorry, I had a bit of stutter there. King, so you said the Hawks. We're gonna go to the Knicks. Sorry, Knicks. Excuse me. Why did I say Knicks? We're gonna go to the OKC versus Rockets game now. So I watched the Golden State Warriors versus Rockets game, the final 5 minutes. And the Golden State Warriors fumbled really bad. They fumbled so badly. Like, I generally thought the Warriors were making the semifinal, but then they fumbled that last 5 minutes. I felt they made a lot of poor shots. They made a lot of poor decisions down the stretch, and that's where it costed them. And I think the final few seconds of the game as well, I think the Rockets just took advantage of the Warriors' 2 shot clock violations, and they took the lead, and that was that. That was the game. And a few cheap, costly fouls that they gave away as well, I think, kind of threw the game away for them as well. So yeah, Golden State. They should be here right now. We should be talking about the Golden State Warriors right now, but the Houston Rockets found a way to get through. And shout out Ime Udoka, shout out Houston Rockets. And I reckon they could pose a threat. But Augustia, talk about the OKC Mavs game a little bit. I know you didn't really watch it, but talk a bit about the game, because obviously give us an insight of what do you kind of perceived from the game, or what you thought happened from the game.
Yeah, so obviously I think we know Chet Holmgren is out, and that's a big blow to OKC. He's big on both ends of the floor. So even just looking at that Mavericks game, the reason OKC were able to claw away with a victory was one part in due because Luka, Kyrie, and Clay were not anywhere near their normal self. So they were completely below par, under par, and that's an understatement. But two, Shea exploded. Shea has been maybe the most consistent guard in the last couple of seasons in the NBA. He has consistently been at the top of the league, at the top of the charts by points, assists, by many metrics. So kudos to Shea. He really has led that team through. But I think tonight, when it comes to OKC versus Houston, as I mentioned earlier on in the show, Houston have been a very impressive unit defensively. And when they have the ball, they don't give it up much. So Houston, again, I think it's going to be tough for OKC to win. They need to do two things. One, limit your turnovers because that Houston team will capitalize instantly. And two, Shea and Jalen Williams, who is also another candidate for most improved player, have to erupt. So two reasons. Do I think OKC will get over the hump? They certainly are more experienced when the game is when the stakes are higher. But I will stick with the Rockets because I picked them before the season started. I will pick them. I will stick with my pick just like Ekevin. So I have the Rockets winning just because I think defensively they're better and OKC are short in numbers and they rely too much on Shea.
I hear that, and I think the Rockets could pull off a shock. I think they could pull off a shock. I just think that with the way the Rockets have played in the NBA Cup, and I think the way they've been playing the season so far, yes, OKC might be the best team in the West, but looking at it right now, the NBA Cup's for anyone. So, and the Rockets definitely do have the team and the threat to get over the line. I'm just gonna go with the safe bet and say OKC. I'll just go with the safe bet and say OKC because I feel like maybe it's just they've been the best team in the West, and I yes, I know it's one-off games, but and I might contradict myself on this, but I just think maybe I just feel like the OKC will just get over the line on this one. Won't be surprised if the Rockets do make the championship game, but I just think with the way Houston Rockets set up as a team, as a 5-man unit, and just the chemistry that they have in the team, they have good defense, and they also have good they also have good scores as well. I'm gonna edge OKC though, just to be a bit safer this one. I just have but on the East side, I just felt the Hawks just maybe more favorites because they've been against the better team. They've been the better team, but with OKC, I just feel like it might be a tighter game, and OKC will just edge it by like 5 points or something. But yeah, Gus, you said Rockets. King, over to you now.
It's a very interesting game because OKC will have the best player, well, the best baller on the field when it comes to Shea. So in terms of point scoring, in terms of all the metrics, Shea has been great. Oh, obviously I have him in my fantasy. I've seen what he's been able to do. And it was down to him that they got through the game in the quarters. So it's gonna be difficult because the thing about Houston is they're well coached. If it wasn't for unforeseen circumstances, I don't think Celtics would have ever let him go. So I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. They've got a lot of talent over there in Houston, and I think they're the healthier team at the moment. They have no injuries to worry about. They've got Sengun. They've got some talented players over there. Like Augustia said, defensively they're really solid. They've got the likes of Dylan Brooks and stuff like that. So they've got a lot of defensive pieces that can stop Shea and cause him problems. And I think OKC are gonna have to dig deep in this one. On the season they're 1-for-1, so they both beaten each other. So in terms of the two teams, they're very close in terms of level. So it's just gonna be if the Houston Rockets can stop Shea, or is Shea gonna show up and shot again? Because he's gonna need to hit 40, 50 points in order to win this game. I think he's gonna need to explode again. He's gonna need to shooting the lights out. So if he has a bad night, then I think the Rockets will get it. But if he has a good night, then could be OKC. So just based on probability rather than anything, I think the Rockets are more likely team to go through. So I'm going to go with Houston. I like what they're doing over there. They've got a lovely unit. They've got great coaching, and yeah, they're a team I think everyone should be afraid of in the West and going forward. And I think they've made some great moves in recent years to improve that team, and they've got a lot of talent. And yeah, they're a scary team when it comes down to it. So I'm gonna go with them just to edge it. over OKC, and I think they'll be too strong defensively for OKC as well. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, that I can definitely see that happening. And obviously the championship game's in Vegas. So, and also I like to bring up the point again, the semifinals are also in Vegas. So it's literally neutral court. So it's literally like anyone's ground. Like there's no home court, there's no away court on the road or at home. None of that. So it's all more like, it's 50-50. It's almost like the bubble, but it's almost as if like it's anyone's court really. So yeah, whoever wins just advances to the championship game. And my championship game will be OKC versus Hawks. The thing is, I really want to say Houston, but I just don't know. I just feel like maybe OKC might just edge it because they've been the best team in the West this season. So I don't know. Should I change my prediction or should I just keep it the same? I'm kind of torn. I don't know really.
It is a difficult one. It is
Because
you look, they're too close to cool, and when you got a guy like Shea, you got a guy that can hit a 40-50 piece to win.
Literally.
He showed it last round,
Yeah.
so
Literally.
it's a difficult one. But it's just, I think Houston defensively are much better than did he play in the last? I think they're much better defensively than most teams, so I think they're gonna cause him a problem.
Houston in the last what?
Who did they face in the last round again?
Warriors.
It was the Warriors. Yeah, defensively, so Houston. No, I mean the Mavs. Yeah, Houston defensively are much better than the Mavs. I think Mavs are all offense, not enough defense, especially with the likes of Luke and Kyrie in their backcourt. But yeah, Houston, I think, are going to be much bigger problem defensively.
I'm going with the Rockets to make the finals. Yeah, I've said it then and there. I'm going to go with the Rockets. Yeah. I don't want to contradict myself and say, oh, but because OKC this and that, and yeah, so on and so forth. But I don't want to say, oh, but OKC maybe the better team. Sure, they are the better team, but I did say OKC at first, but then I thought about it again, and I'm like, yeah, it's anyone's court. So I'm just gonna go with the Houston Rockets. I'm gonna start with you guys. I thought OKC would edge it by a bit, but then I'm gonna go with the Hawks versus Houston Rockets championship game in Vegas. But we'll preview the final. We'll definitely talk about the final when semifinals are done. So we'll be back here previewing the final just a bit more in depth. We'll talk about matchups. We'll talk about how each team pans out. Whoever makes the final will still be there. Even if we get our predictions wrong, we'll still be here. We won't hide. We there's no money on the line here. There's nothing on the line here. It's just a prediction, people. So yeah. Any more thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, I do.
Go on.
I've really liked the NBA Cup so far. I think it's seen teams in a different light. I think I'm happy that they've introduced this format. It's made some regular season games early on much more entertaining, and I think if they can expand the format and add EuroLeague teams and maybe even add G League teams and add more teams to it, I think it could be something that could be really exciting for the future of the NBA. So, and maybe even not even just have the finals and semifinals in Vegas, maybe look to have it in other countries. So, if you want to expand the NBA, maybe do it in like other places so that, you can make it even more prestigious. Have it in London, have it maybe in Australia or even maybe like Mexico, places like that. You never know.
I hear that, but the thing is, right, like, because the thing is, right, like, it's the final has to be played in America because it's like it's more of like how do you call it? because the NBA finals are played there, so there's just no point in playing. It's the same. I don't want to compare it to the NBA finals and say it's the same level, but because it's the final, right? They should play. It's played in America, played in Vegas. It's based around Las Vegas because Las Vegas are looking to introduce basketball to I think the city. I think they're looking to introduce an NBA team there. I think they're trying to expand or something. I think the NBA trying to expand to like 32 teams. So I reckon maybe Las Vegas might be one of the cities that they introduce the NBA to, and they might look at the East and bring maybe even some team from Mexico. Who knows? Because the East are just, what it is. They're looking to introduce teams that are just not that have not been there before. Maybe they want to bring back Seattle Sounders or something. They want to bring back, teams of that ilk. But really and truly, yeah, like I think just keep it in USA for now. Maybe some regular season games should be played in London, or like Germany, or like or Mexico, or maybe even Brazil or something like that. But remember there was a Sixers Celtics game in London. Actually, I remember like in 2018. I remember the Sixers and the Celtics went to play in London. And yeah, and that's just what it was back then. But now I don't think they're looking to do it in other countries. I think they just want to do NFL there because NFL is more like, what it is. It's more global in terms of how they get their teams to go abroad. But in terms of NBA, they're more USA based. NBA is more watched globally, but I'm saying that in terms of when NFL teams go abroad, they're more like they get more attention in that sense. They get more attention in that sense. But NBA is more watched globally for sure.
Can I add to that?
Yeah,
Because there has been NBA London and like Paris games, and they've been
no,
really popular.
I did say that the Celtics and the Sixers played in London in 2018 actually.
Yeah,
They
but
played in London.
I think if they do introduce a team in Las Vegas, then it won't be a neutral place. So I think it would be a good idea once they add extra teams and add a Vegas team to
No, they
move
will. I reckon they will.
to move the Emirates Cup to different places, maybe even in the Emirates. Kind of add to the kind of extraordinary feel of it to make it even feel bigger. Like have it a thing where cities, what's it called? Different cities actually, what's it called? Like how a World Cup where they raffle for it. They say, okay, we want it in our city. So they say, okay, we want the semis and the finals in our city. They like, put forward reasons why they should be the host city, and then it can go to different places so that it makes it seem more important and even gives it a kind of bigger allure for these players, because a lot of these guys aren't really traveling all around the world like that. So the opportunity to maybe have a semi and final in London or Australia, or even go to China, or to go to UAE or Saudi, or different places around the
Yeah,
world, I think that would
yeah.
add it to the allure of getting to these cup finals and semi-finals, because it's the bonus where you get extra time off in between, you get to travel to somewhere, and it's kind of like a kind of like an NBA festival kind of atmosphere that you
I
have,
reckon
because
they
you can have fans that haven't seen it before.
Yeah, I reckon what they could do, they could move it to like Tampa Bay, for example, because Tampa Bay is like a massive is a good sporting city as well. They don't have an NBA team. But if Vegas does introduce if Vegas does introduce an NBA team, I reckon they could move it to like a Tampa Bay or something like that, or they could move it to like But you know what they could do, actually? Do you know what they could do? Maybe just instead of Vegas, they could also bring it to the previous team's winning the previous winner's home court. So like say say like how the Community Shield in the Premier League, right, was done when at the King Power Stadium, because I think Wembley was being used at one point because Leicester City won the Community Shield the previous year. Something of that ilk. I'm not comparing the Community Shield to the NBA Cup, but it's because of the neutral venue, right? But you could also look at this. The NBA could do, like, let's say for example, the Celtics win NBA Cup. All right, they'll play the next year's final at TD Garden, or they could also play the final at the same court of where the All-Star break is, just so they can get an All-Star break feeling before the All-Star break happens. So they can kind of introduce the All-Star break earlier, in that sense, and then like the NBA Cup winners will be honored there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just what I feel, because they need to try and expand it a bit more. I completely agree with you, and expanding it a bit more would be nice. And you know what also it does? It gives teams a bit of playoff atmosphere and a bit of playoff energy at the start of the season, because you know some teams come back into the season and they're still a bit hungover from like the off season. But it's also a good way to get teams going early and quick when the season starts. They don't have to they get going right away. They can get into playoff mode. You know, because every team's fighting for this. It's not just like, 16 teams qualifying for the playoffs. It's every NBA team competing for this cup. So it's a good way to get good early energy, good playoff atmosphere, and good playoff vibes at the start of the season before the actual playoffs come. But you know what they could, and you know one thing I want to make, they could also reward the winner with the automatic playoff spot. But not on top. Not on top. They have to finish. If they need to finish, they need to finish in a playoff position. But they'll get an automatic playoff. So, for example, if they finish sixth, right, they get sixth. Or sorry, if they get eighth, yeah, they get Actually, I don't know. I think I screwed up here with this one. No. But I reckon they should get automatic playoffs if they win the NBA Cup. Maybe more of a reward in that sense, or at least a play-in qualification. You know what I'm saying? At least qualifying for the play-in. You get it?
Yeah, no, I think play-in would actually make sense, because then it would maybe reduce this play-in spot. So, like, let's say if it's like a lesser team, they don't think they're gonna get to the play-in, but like they make it would make sense. That would actually be something to worthwhile. But I think for the future of NBA, I think they need to look at moving the cup finals and semi-finals and even the All-Star break more international, because I think the fan base worldwide is getting bigger, and I think they need to expand it.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you though. One last point I just want to make. Yeah, sorry, and hold that thought for a second. Yeah, because if you look at it, right, there's no point in players traveling overseas, right, and getting jet lagged and coming back, and such and such, because time difference. I know it's All-Star break. I know it's time to rest and all this stuff, but still, I just feel like there's no point in going abroad for All-Star break. It's just me. I don't know. It's just me, but we haven't seen All-Star break go to certain teams in like, what they should do? Actually, they should bring the All-Star break to cities that have not seen an NBA team, or cities that don't have NBA teams. Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Seattle. Seattle won't have an NBA team anymore. What else? What's another big city that I'm missing? Maybe Carolina. Or North or South. Sorry, Charlotte. Sorry, the Charlotte Hornets. Sorry about that. What else am I thinking of? So remind me of a city that I'm missing that has an NBA team. Maybe they could go to Vancouver in Canada. They could go there. They could go to. I don't think Toronto has seen it. I don't think Toronto has seen All-Star break.
I think they have, pretty sure. But the thing about it is, for me, is as NBA as a business, they need to look international to expand, because even though they have these one-off games, I think an All-Star break gives you an opportunity to go somewhere different.
I think it's better to do preseason. I think it's better to do preseason in countries where they've never been to before as well. So say that, for example,
they do preseasons in different countries as well. But I think for the overall product of the NBA, there's only so much you can do in America to expand your audience. You've already
Yeah.
kind of maxed out the American audience. So the only way you can expand further is to broaden your reach in Europe, broaden your reach in Africa, broaden your reach in Asia, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of talent over there. Even if you looked at the Olympics with the South Sudanese team, you saw the talent that they had,
Mm.
and what they did, and you're kind of missing out on a lot of great players that could
Yeah.
potential future
True.
players that can come to the NBA.
That's true.
The
True.
EuroLeague is becoming more and more of a better league. You're seeing some of the most talented EuroLeague players coming to the NBA and balling out like Luca. So, and more, and if you look at the top 10 players, most of them are international rather than American. So, I think you need to capitalize on that and allow for these markets to grow even more, because then NBA won't just become an American sport, but become a worldwide sport, similar to what football
Yeah.
is, similar to what the likes of cricket is and stuff like that. Because that's the next level and steps NBA needs to go to expand into other countries. They have a Canadian team, maybe even have a Mexican team. Eventually, have a team maybe out in London. Who knows? But that might be a bit too much. But kind of allow for your European audience to grow to the point where the Euro League and other leagues around the world become better, so that
Yeah.
you can have these kind of interplay games where players have more opportunities, because there's a lot of talent that gets wasted from college basketball that don't go anywhere, that could
It-
go to these foreign leagues if they're improved in terms of quality. And I think it would be better to expand the game and make it more popular elsewhere as well.
Because the thing is, right, they're going to countries where they're not famous for basketball. They went to the UK. They're not famous for basketball, but they do have a few basketball teams. But they're not as well known or they're not talked about much. They have a few basketball leagues, of course, all around the world. You mentioned South Sudan, yeah, like Sudan. They went to the Olympics and they also put up a very, very good fight against USA. They put up a very, very good fight against USA. Could have actually won the game. Very, 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 very close one there. And also, Thailand has not seen Thailand has not seen NBA players head over here much. Obviously, Kyrie Irving came here during the off season, but really and truly, we've not seen NBA come over to Thailand. We've not seen there's like there's you know what it is. We've not seen an NBA team come to Thailand ever. Like Singapore needs to see an NBA team. Japan has seen NBA teams. China have seen NBA teams because China have a basketball league. Yeah, China's basketball league is probably the second most famous league in the world. Because where else do we really think of second famous basketball? Like Spain, I guess maybe. Other than Spain, they're not really much. I don't know. I just think that during preseason, during what like when the friendlies happen, they should head out. They should do like a preseason tour, like how instead of playing that preseason in America, like instead of playing season at home, play it abroad. The Celtics played their preseason for the first time abroad. I don't remember when the last time it was, because we played in Abu Dhabi. We played in it was Abu Dhabi. We went to Abu Dhabi and we played against the Denver Nuggets over 2 games. So so I guess you just came back. We're just catching up on NBA's expanding and where we can and where we can see NBA teams go. For me personally, I would like to see NBA head over to Thailand, and I would like to see preseason, because NBA Cup, like King mentioned, should be played abroad, like maybe Vegas. I also mentioned that if the NBA Cup final should maybe not just be played in Vegas, but also be played in the team's previous winning home court. So, for example, I said the Celtics win the NBA Cup. The next year's NBA Cup will be played in TD Garden final. The final will be played in TD Garden, for example. Or they could be played in a city where they've never seen basketball before. Just to promote basketball and maybe expand NBA, or play in the same city where All-Star break is happening, just to get a feel factor of All-Star. But talk a bit about the NBA Cup, because I think it's been a great introduction, and talk about the expanding of the NBA around the world, not just in America, but talk about around the world where games we played, where cup games we played, maybe a few regular season games we played, and maybe a few expansion teams. Go on, bro. The floor is all yours.
Yeah,
Just
sorry
touch-
about that. Sorry
No,
about
it's
that.
okay.
By the way. I had an very urgent issue to deal with, but it's all good. So, yeah, you guys make some very good points here. I think, in terms of the NBA Cup, it's been a success, no doubt about it. It's been a success. Obviously, you get the benefit of having the biggest superstar and the biggest franchise win in the first season. So obviously, marketing reach is sky high, better than ever before. So it's a fairy tale situation for the NBA in terms of reach and revenue. But I think next season there will have to be some modifications because the NBA Cup will transform into the NBA's version of the Carabao Cup. And we don't want that. We don't want teams to be rotating, trying things out in the NBA Cup. We want teams to treat the NBA Cup like a baby brother to the NBA Championship, like the FA Cup to the Premier League. That's how the NBA Cup should be perceived. So I think what would make teams treat or value the NBA Cup if it had incentives. So I don't know what those incentives are. I think you have to amplify the monetary incentives, particularly on a player level. Maybe the NBA themselves can facilitate bonuses to players for winning the NBA Cup. Money is obviously the biggest driver in our world today. We live in a tangible and a capitalistic world, so capital is key, cash is king. So maybe if the NBA Cup had more incentives from a monetary standpoint, that would be one thing. I do think what you mentioned earlier about whoever is the reigning champion, the final gets to be played in their stadium. I like that. In their arena, I like that. I think that's cute. That's niche, but I don't think that would solve the main flaw that's arising from the cup. So I think, yeah, we need to make the incentives more appealing to players, give them a reason to participate. Because like the Carabao Cup, if the Carabao Cup was more appealing from a monetary standpoint, I guarantee you Pep Guardiola would not be rotating or wanting to lose that tournament intentionally. So yeah, make the incentives more appealing, one. Two, in terms of the globalization, I agree. I think the globalization of the NBA has been key to it receiving superstars like Jokic, Giannis, and Luka, who, by the way, you can make the case that the three best players in the league today are the foreigners. So that's pretty cool. The NBA has clearly globalized. Obviously, it started with Michael Jordan, or at least it maybe not started, but it was spearheaded through Michael Jordan and his transcendency. He transcended the sport in ways nobody ever thought. But yeah, it's great to see the NBA expanding. In terms of playing in Thailand, now that's interesting. Obviously, sentimentally and biased, Ekavin,
No,
you and I.
I'm talking about preseason, not NBA Cups or anything. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
I'm aware, but thank you for the clarification. Preseason, that's interesting. The only reason the NBA go to places like the Middle East or China or Japan is because one, the market is big, and two, the revenue is there to be generated. So I don't know if Thailand has the appeal yet. I think Thailand and all the ASEAN countries maybe need to invest more into sports and basketball because really there is minimal to no interest in basketball, at least investing in it. Yeah, NBA is getting bigger, more people are watching it over here, but compared to almost every European country, there is no debate. Europeans are far more invested in it. Japanese, Koreans, Eastern Asians, even Australians. So I think the NBA should probably consider going to Australia. There's a big market for the NBA over there. You look at people like Kyrie Irving. I'll mention Ben Simmons as well, Australians ethnically. So go to Australia. You can venture around to places where, one, you generate revenue, and two, the reach and interest makes it worthwhile. So, yeah, I mean, Thailand would be nice. It would be a good gesture to the fans. Hey, we're going to places not just for money, but for the fans. But unfortunately, we don't live in a world where institutions like the Premier League or the NBA operate under love and respect and gratitude, instead under capital. So I like the idea, Kevin, but I don't think it's realistic, and it will not happen for the foreseeable future.
What do you think about where NBA should expand? Because maybe they should have all-star breaks in cities where they've not seen basketball, like say Tampa Bay, say maybe which other city am I talking about here? Maybe Vancouver. maybe cities like Mexico City, maybe say where else have they seen Cincinnati, cities like this, where they've not seen NBA, they've not seen they've not seen the NBA happen or the NBA form a team there. Seattle could maybe bring back a team. Vegas have not seen an NBA. Vegas might bring an NBA team. They've seen the NBA go to Vegas, but they've not seen an NBA team in Vegas. So they might expand. What do you think of these? What do you think of these potential expansions? Because they could benefit the NBA in terms of global reach. Because what it is, Vegas already has the reach in terms of what the city's like and how the lifestyle's like in Vegas. But maybe people who are crazy about sports, adding a basketball team there just adds more to the city and adds more to the state itself, because that just benefits the state. It benefits other people as well living in Vegas, because it might have a higher reach, and it might have a higher how'd you say it? Higher rank or something like that, in terms of where NBA is being played. So what do you think of these potential what do you think of these potential expansions, because they could be beneficial to the NBA, and not just the NBA but to sport.
Yeah, unlike you mentioned sport, unlike the Champions League and the World Cups that are expanding into smaller markets and teams that clearly aren't capable of competing in the sport's premier club competition or international competition, there are so many untapped and untouched markets that the NBA have to reach out to. You mentioned Vegas, Ekavin. I mean, from a revenue standpoint, Las Vegas is the ideal option. Vegas by far. You talk about what Vegas have done recently, whether it's WrestleMania, WWE events, UFC events, all these events, or like the F1 Grand Prix, for example, as we have extensively uncovered on this channel. Vegas is a hotspot for revenue and for attraction and for interest and for PR, because celebrities go to Las Vegas. So Vegas would be a great option. They definitely have the market for it. They have the appeal for it. They have the fans for it. So I think, yeah, expand into Vegas if capital is your currency. Now, if we're talking about the best places for the NBA, for NBA teams that that states that have fans that want the NBA but don't have it, maybe going to Canada, maybe going to Vancouver. We only have one Canadian team.
I don't think Toronto's ever seen All-Stars as well, All-Star break as well.
I feel like they have, but whether or not that's a tragedy. So yeah, I think expanded to Canada. Vancouver is a massive market. So tap into it. That would be great for the sport. Maybe a place like Buffalo. Buffalo could have a team as well. Buffalo, Kansas, big markets as well would be very good options.
Kansas, thank you for reminding me. Kansas as well.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe move away from California and Texas in terms of expansion, because there's so many teams in that region already.
Don't forget there is San Diego, San Jose as well. All these other places in California, but also, yes, I agree with you. They should move away from California.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the NBA can definitely expand, but it has to be, you have to understand what your objectives are. If it's capital, go to Vegas. If it's capital and market, Buffalo is a good place. Vancouver is a good place, and look into places like Kansas. So I like it. I think it's great. The NBA has to expand, because we have a lot of players like Lonnie Walker, for example. How is he not on a team? Or has he been picked up?
We could have got him, but guess what? We didn't. So shame on you, Boston, because we could have got it. In fact, we could have got an absolute gem on the squad, by the way. And I'm so upset that we let him go. Yes, I know we had to, but still, come on, get him back.
Exactly, man. So I agree with you. I think that expand. It's great for revenue, great for reach. Do it. Maybe. I mean, I want to ask you guys real quick. What do you think of expanding into Mexico?
I hear it because obviously Canada has one. I reckon they should just have one team outside the US, like only two teams outside the USA. They should just stick to Toronto, and they should bring one in Mexico, because I feel like maybe instead of going to like Vancouver or something like that, because where I feel like where I feel like you kind of separating Canada in terms of like a lot of Canadians support the Toronto Raptors already. So it's going to be kind of hard to separate those people and make them support a new Canadian team. Whereas the Canada are so united on the Toronto Raptors, it's unreal. Like I've never seen like a whole country defend like an NBA team like this, and you know what it is. It's nice. Just make them represent Canada. Make them represent Canada. That's what I want. I want to see them represent Canada. And where I also see it is Mexico. Yeah, why not? Why not? Mexico City, maybe. That'd be nice. Cancun. I know I used to joke a lot about Cancun, but yeah, Cancun would be a good place to have basketball, because Cancun's a very, very a very, very busy, like, sort of, like, you know, very like a massive tourist attraction in Mexico. So yeah, I do hear that, and Jim would be crazy. Yeah, Jim would be really, really crazy. Imagine Hawaii had a basketball team. Imagine Hawaii had a basketball team. It would be a long journey from Boston to Hawaii, but think about it. It's a nice place. Like, it's a nice tourist attraction as well. Like, because a lot of people go to Hawaii, right, to like for like holiday. Bahamas maybe as well. These countries can get NBA teams. Dominican Republic as well, because Al Horford can be the face of Dom Rep, because he's the only Dom Rep. He's the only Dom Rep player to win an NBA championship. So maybe these countries can attract the NBA to them, but it's going to be tough because the money that these countries have to put out to make a basketball team will be crazy. The money will be a lot. I can see it happening, but it's about the finances and if the government can get it right, or if not just the government, sorry, the country officials or whatever. But yeah, it'd be nice to see NBA go out to Dom Rep, places like Hawaii, Cancun, Bahamas, maybe like that. Maybe someone of that ilk, somewhere around the American, you know, the American how'd you say it? The American area, if you get what I'm saying.
You know what? Yeah, no, it would be interesting. I think, yeah, Canada actually. I think Canada deserves another team. I think Vancouver had a team before. I think it would be good for them to get a team back.
I don't know, because they're so united on Toronto Raptors. It's like, it's kind of nice to see Canada like defend the country. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I see. But go on, bro.
No, I think Canada deserves two teams. I think personally, I think Seattle deserves a team. I think they should have never lost a team in the first place. I think Mexico City.
OKC go back to Seattle, maybe,
or just a new team in Seattle. I think Mexico City is a place that needs a team. I think if you're gonna go Mexico City will probably be the place. In terms of like America, I'm thinking outside of Seattle, you got Vegas. You can also go to St. Louis. You can also go to Nashville. There's plenty of cities that even Tampa Bay. You can also go to Kansas City. Yeah, so there's you could easily add another 6 teams and have enough talent to cope with 6, even maybe 8 extra teams. So there's a bunch of possibilities of adding extra teams to the NBA league, and I think it does need expansion because there are a lot of players that aren't playing that should get minutes. You also got look at the talent that's in the G League that could be easily rotation players, and I think the talent pool of players in basketball is increasing year on year. So I think it's needed. I think it's like in order for the NBA viewership is going down year on year, and I think they need more teams and more excitement and more opportunities for places to support, because I feel like the reason why I think it would be good for 2 different cities in Canada is because each individual city wants to have a team that they can support, that they can get behind, and I think it adds more. And you can add a rivalry. Like imagine having two Canadian cities going against each other, Vancouver, Toronto. Those kind of games will be elevated because what sports needs, it needs rivalry, it needs teams with loyal fan bases, and it needs money. So Vegas, you got the money. Seattle, you got the loyal fan base. But with Vancouver, you got two teams in Canada. So who do you go for? Toronto or Vancouver? You got the rivalry there. And then the likes of Mexico City, you're in a new country. That could be the team where the whole of Mexico, the whole of South American fans can go support that team because that's a place that they can go to and watch. So it kind of adds and elevates the league in that sense as well. And I think there's a lot of potential places that deserve, and there's a lot of sporting cities that NBA teams can be put into.
Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal as well. In as well, that's another city. Montreal, Quebec, kind of like that's a different type of Canada. So that even adds to the rivalry. That's more the French Canadian kind of part. And then I think you could easily see I think Las Vegas is definitely a standout shout because I think you could easily see LeBron James becoming the second kind of former NBA player like Michael Jordan to own a team, and I could definitely see him owning a team in Las Vegas. I can definitely see for that future for him because he's a billionaire, and I think he definitely has the resources with the friends he has to even him own a team, and it would be good to see him in his post-part career create a new team in Vegas and expand the sport outside of the reach. Because as you can see on my head, you got the Jordan symbol, and I think LeBron is the next step of that. So it'd be great to see LeBron expand himself into a team and see him as a GM, especially with his encyclopedic knowledge on the game, and to see what he can do. Obviously, Jordan wasn't that great, but we'll see if LeBron can do it and add more options for these players to go to, more places to play at, and continue to expand the sport and make it more exciting. I think the NBA needs this. I think there's too many superstars that can have their own team right now. Like you're looking at each team and there's like two players that you could say, okay, if they were on their own team, what would they do? Imagine if you give Jaylen Brown the opportunity to have his own team, or you give a Maxi to go somewhere to have their own team. You have these guys that maybe aren't seeing their full potential when there's other teams that if they expanded, there's superstars that can be created from this. And I think it will make the league a much better place and a much healthier league. And the other thing is needed is for the top players to participate more in the NBA All-Star game as well. And I think that's needed as well. I think it should be mandatory that that when it comes to the dunk contest and when it comes to the 3-point contest, that some of the All-Stars are involved in it as well. So continue to improve the sport and give the fans more teams to root for, more teams to attach to, and I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I hear that. The NBA fuck hell, stuttering again. The NBA just needs to expand. Augustia, continue what King said, bro. If you heard much of it.
No, I'm sorry. I heard bits of it, but I'm dealing with a bit of an emergency here.
No.
I think I agree. I think expansion is necessary. It's good. We have a lot of. It's like what King said about Formula One. You need to expand because there's so much talent that is untapped and unused. So expand. I think NBA expand into a big market, and two, I like you guys' ideas of preseasons because preseason is a great place to attract new fans and a new audience. And who knows, you can get the next Luka Doncic or Dirk Nowitzki or Tony Kukoc, whatever it is, you can find the next superstar from abroad going to preseason because it just takes a game, a young kid going to an NBA game being like, I want to be a basketball player. And you become a professional basketball player. So it's just like, do it. Who knows? So, yeah, I agree with you guys. I agree. Expand and attract. Expand and attract.
Yeah, I completely hear that. Any more thoughts before you close out?
No. I think just for those that are catching in, or maybe we can tell them who we think is going to win tonight again. Because I have Hawks and Rockets making it, and then I have the Rockets winning the tournament.
I've got the Hawks and the Rockets as well. I made a last second change to the Rockets because I said OKC might edge it, but because I just think it's a safer bet. But you know what it is? Houston Rockets can turn up. Because like I said, I was contradicting myself, and I said it's a neutral court. It's anyone's court. It's no home, no away. There's no this home court, away court protection, this and that, none of that stuff. It's neutral ground. You're at a neutral venue in Vegas. There's no such thing as courts in your favor. I'm just gonna go with the Rockets, and I think the Hawks will win the tournament because like I said, the Hawks are just doing well against the better teams. And King, we'll be back previewing the final again, the championship game again. But King, just review quick predictions again, just to wrap it up.
I said the Hawks to win out. They made me a believer. And then the Rockets, because I think defensively they'll be too much for Shea and OKC to handle. I think. So I think defensively the Rockets will stop OKC, and I think it'll be in the final. I'm gonna go with the Hawks all the way. As I said, they made me a believer. AN Sports said it first, so well done. And yeah, man, I believe Hawks. Go Hawks. And all that.
Big guy, guys.
No. Do you know when the Hawks score 3, right? It's like, do you hear this like weird like Hawks sound in the background? It's like when the Hawks hit a 3-pointer it's like for 3 and it's like this Hawks sound. I'm like, oh my god, how do people cope with this? It's so loud. It's like, how do you cope with this shit in the arena? I'm like, just nullify these guys and just try to win the game. That's all you could do, really. But the only time I enjoyed it was when they beat the Lakers at home. I'm like, I'm calm. I don't mind it. But that's the only time it happened. So like, it's cool. But yeah, but their former. I think the other announcer was like 4-3, and then the Eagle and then the Hawks sound came out. I was like, oh my god, bro, how do people cope with this? It's crazy. But yeah. Big up to the Hawks. Hope they win the whole thing. I hope they get a prediction right. But yeah, let's wrap it up here, people. 26 of you watching. Please make sure you click the link and subscribe. I'm 3 away from 100. Come on, people. It doesn't take much to subscribe. It's free. It's also free to hit the like button. So hit the like button and make sure you comment. Make sure you show some love to the panelists. I will be reviewing a video soon. the Hawks. The Hawks are one funny team out there.
Robin Hood.
Hopefully they win it, man. But yeah, I will be releasing a video on the stream soon. So if you guys want to catch up a few clips from the stream, please make sure you check out my channel. I'll be bringing them out soon. Like I said, I'm 3 away from 100, so go and sub and show these guys some love in the chat. Keep it respectful as always. King, what do you got coming up, bro? We got NBA. We got more NBA talk, haven't we, in the next week?
Oh yeah, more NBA talk.
The final,
hopefully we can do a F1 wrap up show. During the whole season as well.
I'll definitely think about that as well. I think we'll do that sometime, maybe next week or something.
Yeah,
or maybe when there's no football on the television, maybe in January. Because at the moment, there's a lot of football right now, so I don't really know if we should just do F1 while there's a lot of football going on and NBA is happening as well. So and there's Christmas fixtures coming up as well, so we have to preview them. So yeah,
definitely.
So yeah, that's why I feel like we should talk about it as well. I will be doing we will definitely be doing a more NBA talk. So the final, we'll be back previewing the final. I guess you should be back also previewing the final. So we'll be back I think Tuesday. The finals Wednesday morning for us, isn't it? So I think we'll preview the final. So yeah, definitely. And we'll talk about our NBA teams the rest of the week as well. Any NBA games coming up tomorrow? Let's just preview the games tomorrow, anyways, because we won't be reviewing tomorrow's games before we close out.
While you find the games, I just want to echo what Ekevin said. Please get AN Sports to 100 subscribers by the end of the week. because
literally before the end of the year, because I'm literally 3 away. Like, come on, people, it doesn't take that much to subscribe. Like 3, it's like I shared the link on Twitter. Most of you guys are watching from Twitter. I shared the link in my I quote tweeted the space where the video is the video is showing. So please make sure you go and click that link and subscribe and comment as well. So
Yeah.
again,
I mean, this is one of the only places for unfiltered content, not just for NBA, but all sport. So Ekevin's not backed by big money. He can say whatever he wants, whenever he wants, however he wants. So, and the best part about this is you got to say. So feel free to comment. I know there are a bunch of you watching this stream today, but feel free to comment as well. No comment is a bad comment. Every comment is good. We love the interaction. We love the opinion, no matter how radical or right. It doesn't matter. It's sport at the end of the day. So we just want to have a good time.
So we'll be back previewing the NBA in 2 days. I think we'll be doing two days NBA stream in a row. I think we'll be back previewing the NBA 2 days in a row. I think so. Yeah. So tomorrow I think we'll be back again. Let's preview tomorrow's games. Pacers against Pelicans. I'm gonna go with the Pacers to win at home.
Yeah, I echo that. Tyrese is finally finding his form and feet again.
King.
Yeah, no, I'll go with Pacers.
Magic versus Knicks. I'm gonna go with Magic. Because Magic, even though they're missing their good players, they're actually still playing quite well. I can't lie. I think they're quite well coached. I reckon they could win. I'm gonna go with Orlando to win at home against the New York Knicks.
I got the Knicks because the core is fit, intact, and firing.
No. I got the Knicks actually because Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner being missing might play a huge factor. But they're still well coached though, so you just never know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Knicks actually. Wizards against Celtics. Celtics for me.
I think the Wizards will blow the Celtics out, and won't. No, I'm kidding. I'm just playing. I can win Celtics. Celtics blow out before you come on me. I just realized what I said. That's not what I meant. Okay. That is like it. I am straight. I have a girlfriend. I am straight. Okay, so hey
that's
guys,
the biggest pause in the history of AN Sports YouTube channel, and those words do not. And AN Sports does not have any association with those words. So please, would you excuse us? Just happened and what's just been said live on air.
Yeah, that is diabolical. Obviously I didn't mean that. We both are straight. I have a girlfriend, so I'm like, nah. Yeah, I meant before you know. I'm not even gonna fix it because I'm gonna make it worse. Before you criticize me. That might be worse than the Tuxin moment.
Oh my god.
So
all right.
Back to the predictions. I never got to pick the last one, so I'm gonna go Magic and Wizards.
Oh yeah, sorry
upset season. Let's go.
I need to clip this. This is box office.
Dude, your channel is gonna go viral. You're welcome. You're welcome, by the way, in advance.
You are my co-host, to be honest, so fair enough.
Back to the NBA. As King said.
Celtics Wizards, King. In Washington.
Oh no, I already said Magic and Wizards. I said both.
Oh, you think Wizards will beat the Celtics?
Yeah. I'm gonna go for some risky moves. I think it's time to shake things up.
So I assume you're gonna go for the Spurs to beat the Timberwolves as well next.
Oh yeah, I always got to go with my guy Wemby. Big ones.
I'm going with the Spurs as well. I can't lie. I'm gonna go with the Spurs. Spurs to win at home against the Timberwolves.
I agree. I got to back Wemby, especially because I'm against you, Ekevin, in fantasy, and I need Wemby to play off.
You
If he
are.
doesn't, I don't know if I'll win.
I better fucking win. I better score at least near 300 points. Otherwise, I'm sacking half my team, bro. Half my team's getting sacked and traded, bro.
I mean, you gotta.
Stinker and Hooked, they're gone.
You gotta, man. I mean, I have 10 players averaging 30 points or more, so you gotta trade.
I have to. But yeah, Suns against Blazers. I'm gonna go with the Suns to win at home, quite comfortably.
KD is fit again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then
Suns to win at home.
Yeah, KD to shine on the Suns. Definitely.
Golden State versus Dallas in Golden State. I'll go with Dallas to edge it in Golden State.
Yeah, I agree. Kyrie, Luka fit. Luka's played a bit of games, had some rest, so I think we win.
King?
I'm going Warriors. Come out to play. Chef Curry. Straight free business. Let's go.
Yo, Magic is better than food. I'd rather take a magician than a chef.
Also, he always wants to beat Clay now, you know? Splash Brother is the Splash Brother.
This is Clay's second homecoming, I think.
Yeah. We won't talk about it first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dallas. Lakers, Grizzlies. I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies. The Lakers have been in really, really poor form as of late. Actually, I'm not even kidding you this time. Like the Lakers have been on poor form.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last few games, I think they've lost 3 of the last 4 games. So they beat the Blazers, right? But they lost. I think they were 3 of the last 4 games. They lost to. Let me have a look at the Lakers. Let me have a look at the Lakers results here.
I mean, Lakers have had a couple bad injuries.
They lost 4 of the last 5, mate. 4 of the last 5 games the Lakers lost. They lost to the Timberwolves. They lost to the Heat. They lost to the Hawks. Bro, in back-to-back games, they conceded 134 points. Back-to-back games. Against the Heat and the Hawks. 134 points. And then they beat the Portland Trail Blazers. And then they lost to the Timberwolves again. Me and King pretty much called this out. We saw the Lakers losing at least like more games. And I think they'll lose to the Grizzlies as well. I reckon they're gonna lose. I reckon they're gonna lose to the Grizzlies.
I think it depends on LeBron. Nobody knows why LeBron is out. Everyone is speculating their wildest speculations why he's out. But I hope he's back soon. Hope it's nothing serious on a personal one. So if he's back, then I will pick the Lakers. If he's not, then I'll pick the Grizzlies.
Even if LeBron's fit, bro, the Lakers have been shite. Even with LeBron, like
they've fallen.
Have you seen the points that they've conceded, bro? Have you seen the amount of points that they've conceded? And especially with the Memphis Grizzlies being a top 5 team in the West this season, I don't know. Even if it's in LA, I'm gonna go with the Memphis Grizzlies to win.
I mean, Ekevin, but of course you would obviously take Austin Reeves over Pritchard, right?
This guy, bro.
I'm joking.
Payton Pritchard is by far the better player, but the guy's playing as a 6-man and he's scoring 28 points off the fucking bench.
He's a candidate.
He's definitely gonna win 6-man of the year, right? At this rate, at the rate he's going, he's winning 6-man of the year. He has to win 6-man of the year. Come on, like we all know this.
I agree.
I believe he has to win it. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies to win. King.
Yeah, no. It's gonna be Grizzlies, even with LeBron. Lake Show is a team that's a bit inconsistent at the moment, but they tend to lose to better teams. So I think Grizzlies will just edge them. But it'll be a close fight. It'll be a close fight if LeBron's there. If LeBron isn't there, then it will be a beatdown.
But think about this, yeah. We spoke about this as well. I just said it a bit ago, yeah. The Lakers have, they've conceded 134 points in back-to-back road games. Bro, 134 points in 2 games in a row. To the Hawks and to the Miami Heat. Bro, that's uncalled for. And there was 2 games in a row where the Lakers didn't even score more than 100 points.
Unacceptable.
Bro, that is crazy. Yes, JJ Redick's a good manager. He's a good head coach. But as things are going right now, they need to sort things out. Their record right now is 13-12. 13-12. It's not great. It's not as great. It's better than it's better than a couple seasons ago at the start, but sure, but nah, it's not good enough. And I reckon it'll be 13-13. And they've got Sacramento Kings back to back as well on the road, and that's their bogey team. The Lakers don't often beat Sacramento Kings anymore. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll talk about those games soon. Apologies about what happened a bit ago, people.
Hey, we're human here.
Things happen. People say things by accident. It's okay.
I mean, actually, to be fair, you guys interpret it differently. I just use correct English. You guys thought of something else. You guys get your heads checked.
True.
Get your heads checked, both of you.
At the same time, you know how modern social media. How modern.
That's the best clip on AN Sports in AN Sports history. No debate.
It was like 2 years ago. I'd probably let it slide, because nobody knows what would have been. Nobody knows what would have been said. But the fact that it's been said to 2024, and you know what these people are like. So yeah,
exploit it, man.
It's all good, man. It's all good. King, I'll see you for NBA Cup final predictions as well, and I guess you'll be there as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'll be there for more football streams as well soon.
And weekly United shows, weekly NBA shows, F1 season reviews coming as well, and we've got football news as well. Maybe some football news. Maybe January transfer windows coming, so I'll definitely be releasing transfer news streams as well, and maybe some football bingo streams. Maybe who knows? Let me know, people. Let me know. It'll be good fun to do all this stuff with you guys, and it'll be fun to interact with the audience as well. If you guys are interested in playing NBA bingo, maybe NBA bingo could be a thing as well. Maybe F1 bingo could be a thing as well. Who knows? More games in the future, and all that stuff to interact with you guys. But yeah, get subbing, 100 subs. If you guys want to do all that, get me to 100 subs. Like the video, subscribe. See you guys. Go Celtics. Have a good evening. Peace.